the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the CyberHub Podcast, August 2nd, 2022. It's Tuesday, and we've got a packed show. Yesterday, a pretty slow news day, really. Today, we're starting to really see the steam pick up. Next week is Patch Tuesday, so a lot of the planning, a lot of everything that goes on in the head of a practitioner is really leading to your vulnerability and patch management program that will be in full effect, tightening ship for next week's Patch Tuesday. But today's show is also filled with patches, ransomware, and TikTok. Let's get into today's show. But before we do that, let's grab our morning cup of Joe. I've got my double espresso. Whatever you're drinking this morning, I hope it nourishes you, empowers you to get through today successfully and hopefully with lots of energy. Coffee cup, cheers. All right. Google patched a critical Android flaw that's allowing remote code execution via Bluetooth. The critical vulnerability, which was tracked as CVE 2022-20345, it affects the system component, and it has been patched with Android 12 and 12L updates. According to Google, an attacker does not require additional execution privileges to remotely execute arbitrary code over a Bluetooth attack. No additional details are available about the vulnerability. Obviously, they're going to try to keep as little information about this vulnerability out there as they get all of these devices patched. Android is by all means one of the more challenging OSs in mobile. The remaining security bugs have all been assigned a high severity rating to impact components like frameworks, media frameworks, system kernel, Imagination Technologies, MediaTek, Unisoc, and Qualcomm components. Many of them could lead to privilege escalation or information disclosure. Fixes for these clauses are included in security patch levels 2022-0801 and 2022-0805. Google releases 2 patch levels to provide its partners the flexibility to fix a subset of vulnerabilities that are similar across all devices more quickly. However, the tech giant did advise partners to use the latest security patch level and bundle all fixes in one single update, just showing you the urgency of this patch. At least 34 healthcare organizations have been affected by an alleged ransomware attack on OneTouchPoint. The ransomware attack on printing and mailing service provider OneTouchPoint is having several downstream effects on its customers, prompting it to release a data breach notice last week on behalf of 34 healthcare organizations. OneTouchPoint provides its services to several health insurance carriers and medical providers, which hand over customer information for certain services. The company did not respond to requests for comments and said in a notice on July 27th that it covered encrypted files on certain computer systems on April 28th. It's unable to say definitively what PII was accessed by the ransomware group, but noted it worked with customers to determine what information was on their network. It offered to mail breach notification letter to those affected. The information included names, healthcare member IDs, as well as information that was provided during health assessment. The incident was reported to law enforcement according to the notice. OneTouchPoint said it was providing notice on behalf of an array of medical organizations, while Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield released its own breach notification in June, explaining that 1,423 of its members had their names, addresses, date of birth, provider names, and medical information exposed in this specific attack. This is all coming on the heel of a warning last month by the FBI of the Iran-based ransomware groups targeting Boston's Children's Hospital with ransomware, among many others as well. There's over 3,200 apps that leak Twitter API keys, some allowing for account hijacks. Researchers have uncovered a set of 3,207 mobile apps that are exposing Twitter API keys to the public, potentially enabling a threat actor to take over users' Twitter accounts that are associated with the app. The discovery itself scrutinized large app sets for potential data leaks and found that leaking a valid consumer key and consumer secret for the Twitter API. When integrating mobile apps with Twitter, developers will be given special authentication keys or tokens that allow their mobile apps to interact with the Twitter API. When a user associates their Twitter account with the mobile app, the keys will also enable the app to act on behalf of the user, like logging into Twitter, creating tweets, sending DMs, and a whole lot more. So You can obviously see that we definitely have to work on our API here. CloudSec shared a list of impacted applications with apps between 50,000 to 5 million downloads, including some radio tuners and whatnot. Definitely something to keep an eye on. LockBit ransomware is abusing Windows Defender for payload loading. So LockBit continues to be a headache for many EDR and AV providers. They're now abusing Windows Defenders to decrypt and load Cobalt Strike payloads during attacks, according to SentinelOne. In the report, it said attack involving LockBit ransomware threat actors had leveraged a legitimate VMware command line utility named VMware xferlogs.exe to sideload Cobalt Strike payload. In a different attack observed by the firm, the attacker leveraged a command line tool associated with Windows Defenders. Specifically, the threat actors used an MP command run.exe to decrypt and load post-exploitation Cobalt Strike payloads. The attack started with exploitation of the Log4 shell vulnerability against an instance of VMware Horizon servers. The LockBit ransomware has been around since 2019, and now with LockBit 3.0, they continue to show just the sophistication and their TTPs. BlackCat ransomware is claiming an attack on European gas pipeline. It's not like Europe has a energy crisis of sorts with the sanctions on Russia, but now the gas company in Luxembourg, a small country of just under 1 million people, experienced a cyber attack against their natural gas pipeline and electricity network operator. Insivo, who operates the energy supplier in 5 EU countries, announced on the July 25th they had suffered a cyber attack the previous weekend. While the cyber attack had resulted in the customer portals becoming unavailable, there was no interruption in the provided services. Again, this seemed to be more of an IT disruption. The company did post an update on the cyber attack, and now all customers are recommended to reset their online account portals, but obviously showing you just the significance of attacking a gas pipeline and what that does. And finally, we'll end with TikTok. So we voted TikTok really bad for national security. The majority passed it. Now they're using it. You can't make this stuff up even if you wanted to. So with the midterms just quickly around the corner, about 3 months away and counting, many people who are saying that TikTok is a national security. I can't stop smiling at this one. The hypocrisy of this story to me is just absolutely fascinating. So we're going to go to the floor. We're going to vote that TikTok's really, really bad, right? And it's a national security threat and it should be blocked. Then we're going to go to TikTok to say that's exactly what we did. That's pretty much what many of the lawmakers who voted for this said. If you are a China company or a company that's based in the PRC, there are certain rules and regulations you operate under. Obviously, the whole news around TikTok continues to baffle many, but many are still posting there. Many people are posting there still. People who voted for it. Both sides. This is just come on, people. Congress voting to say, our kids are on TikTok. Yeah, the Chinese know your kids are on TikTok. Get your kids off of TikTok. You're a member of Congress. You should know better. Especially considering if you guys haven't seen the Joe Rogan episode where he talks about the TikTok terms and conditions. It's definitely something worthwhile watching. The fact that they actually do say that they listen to your mic actively on your device. So if you've got TikTok on your phone, chances are they're listening. So keep that in mind. Delete TikTok. Hashtag it now. Get it done. Folks, thank you very, very much for tuning in today. We'll be back with a whole lot more tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe and delete TikTok, please.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.